Hello there, and welcome to episode 2 of my Suffering with Exotic Industries. So, last episode I started out with a little bit of a. You see what we did there? Bit of an enterprise, and with pretty much no clue what I was doing. Today I have a little bit more clue of what I'm doing, and things aren't really looking good, I say. So, well, I do have a goal now, so I did a bit of a lookup in between the last episode and this one, and the promised land looks like this. Electricity power. I realized that electricity power not only unlocks the real inserters, it also unlocks the electric mining drills. So this is the technology that we're looking to forward to. But yeah, it's locked behind the electricity age tech. So that means the entire steam age we will have to go through burner tech. Yes, burner tech. So I also heard the feedback on episode 1, and yeah, the machines are way less loud, and I also will do a little bit better transitions in between the chapters. So let me know how you like it. I also amped up the FPS on the video, which were mysteriously low. So I did my best to get this thing a little bit more entertaining and good looking. So here, well, I still haven't found a good solution to this problem. You know, everything here is kind of like hand fed. I don't really want to. Well, I I'm struggling to set up a real infrastructure for this crap. Okay, I really don't want to do this. So what I really want to do is I want to set up a autonomous system that's crafting the hell out of these. So that's the first thing that we're going to do. First off, I'm going to crank up the production value of, well, this system here, so it matches the throughput. Currently, we're not featuring enough furnaces for this whole thing. I am also, I'm going to face it, okay? We're going to optimize this, that these inserters can feed themselves automatically, and we're going to to repeat that whole ordeal over here. So since this is neither exciting nor challenging to build, so I'm going to go for my little meditational spot here and continue the video once I'm done with that. And that's where I am currently. So when you look at this, this is basically as good as it will get. You know, we are at a slight deficit here. I could wire up another mining machine, but I don't want to. We got here a much smaller array of science labs because, you know, since I'm not really currently able to bring up the sheer numbers, I decided to just give up and keep just 4 of these labs running, but at least keep these running as good as I can. So on the copper side of things, I installed a pretty comparable system here. We have now coal and ore on the same belt, and here I have a distributor. You know, it is as it is. I don't like how it is. Look at this. Every one of these miners has its own inserter. Some of these don't even get the coal they need. It is pretty much a mess, but you know, we have at least now the materials we require for the next step of this plan, because I currently really don't plan to do anything except for working myself out of this misery by forcing the technological advance as hard as possible. Because, you know, all of these things, it doesn't work well because these inserters are so slow. So basically, if I'd want to make this array a tad bit more efficient, I'd be needing something like that. But you know, we're really getting into disgusting into disgusting areas of design if we start to over optimize a base that's only running on burners. So I just won't. I just won't. Okay, we're going to get through this ASAP. with the materials that I gathered, we can now get on over to the actual production. It's quite simple for us. Let's go for the next tech here. What do we need? I'm just going to tick off boxes now. So we're going to require the red science production, iron and copper ingots, although I'm actually really intrigued to just craft that by hand because the ingredients are dirty cheap. The crafting time is very low. Let's see to that later. But this is really more important. We need one steam engine when we need 4 copper mechanical parts. This is where things get a little bit more exciting. All in all, we can here utilize quite a lot of the materials that we are producing. The only thing that we need to do now is we need to funnel the materials that we are producing towards a productive spot and then start tinkering. I mean, the good news is I got everything I require. We can get started with the work. The only thing I really dislike is that I still have these chores, you know? I need to run around this place and grab coal every now and then and refill the coal into the bins so I can make sure that my machines won't run out. I also need to constantly handcraft in the background and, oh, well, I'm really happy once we're done with that phase of the game. Anywho, so we got this here running and I really hope that this will be sufficient, but I'm afraid before the dawn of the electricity age, we will crack up the numbers of that thing one more time. But well, let me now cook up something in the background for the production of science, and then well, let's see how fast things will go. Now, we're going to have to relay a few things, but this is what I came up with. So first off, the iron went over to a little trip and the copper met together with the iron ingots. I also had to soup up the throughput power of these slag processes because I quickly got overwhelmed by the slag. So it's a quite simple thing. We're producing some iron plates and mechanical parts, which we are then transforming into pipes. The pipes then are being processed together with some copper mechanical parts into turbines or steam engines, and these then get delivered to our green science facility, right? Easy. So the really beautiful part about all that is we should be actually capable of, well, let's see how much we can actually produce, but it looked as if we had a nice and decent overproduction, so let's check this out for once. So yeah, we are, well, that furnace was not meant to be inside the equation. Here we go. So we have a slight deficit on the steam engines, and we're producing 0.6 green science per second with that. Or, wait a sec, was that the burner inserter number? Give me a sec. Yeah, no, here we are. So we're producing roughly zero point 0.4 units of green science per second, but I'd say that's a pretty great start. So we have to relay now, of course, the science facility yet again, because you know things can't stay like they are here. But I'd say this will be a pretty good step forward. I'm going to, oh well, never mind. I was like going to insert the last few handcrafted machines that I got, but as a matter of fact, I don't even have any handcrafted machines anymore. So our science park will live over here now. We got quite a fair amount of labs in the pocket, so I'm going to go and set them up a little bit more profoundly here, so we can actually do something with them. So, well, I still am considering to wire up red science automated, you know. So therefore, well, I'm going to see what I can do. Because we currently need a terrible amount of extra science. I mean, this is obviously a pretty good start, but you know, it's just gonna require that much more. And we still have to wheeze around refill machines. This is by far the most annoying part of this phase. I mean, I could go for steam machines by now, and I think everything which is steam powered would be more efficient. I do plan to look into the transition of these things in the next couple of minutes, hours, days. But until then, well, I want to cook up real quick a bit of a red science facility because, you know, this must be possible to make that a little bit easier. So let's see. We'd be producing 1 unit of red science per second. I think this is really all we can ask for. So here we get ridiculous amounts of inserters that we need. So that means 2 inserters on each side. Yeah, alright. So the worst part about burner inserters is they are painstakingly slow. You know, they are literally the slowest thing that you can get in the game. So here we go. I'm feeding some red science into the system, but obviously the more interesting part would be to upgrade our production here in general. So what I want to check out now is I want to give this entire system a look. So how are things? We are under providing slag. I don't care too much about that. We do have a pretty okay overproduction of iron plates. So all in all, I think it'd be really, really a safe bet to just crank up the amount of green science production here, because obviously this is the one thing that we don't have enough of. And well, let's see where we'll end with that. I see myself bringing up the old tech park now, and you know, with the capabilities that we got, obviously things are working out quite nicely. So, well, I think the next thing that I'll do is I'm going to pretty much duplicate what I got and well, make sure that we have double the amount of what we got now. And then, well, let's see. The thing is, we still have quite the technology up ahead of us. So when you check out the electricity tech, see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 tech projects that we need to tackle. And every one of them will require more and more tech packs. So we're also going to go for the coke production. You know, there's going to be the coke furnace. I did already the math. The coke is working like that. You put 16 megajoule of fuel in form of coal, and you get 18 megajoule of fuel out in form of coke. So all in all, this is a very, very beneficial recipe. So yeah, I'm going to go and amp up the production of green science now. And, well, I hope that the coal coke processing will be done after that. And then we better start processing our fuel because, honestly, this will increase the efficiency. And I see myself using that stuff more and more also in the future. So I think this is a good next step. I mean, we have to fill the time somehow until we have researched all that stuff. So, well, you know, let's amp up the green science production and see how all these things work in detail then. Been quite an easy task to upgrade the whole system. We actually had all the necessary production already running, you know? The iron plates were already enough, the mechanical parts were enough. I just had to slap in a couple of extra machines here and a couple of extra machines there, and the whole system was already running stable, so that was actually a really, really nice surprise. I have also stocked up onto a total of 16 laboratories, and as you see here, the constant hand-loading nightmare is still a thing. I also did realize that we're starting to hit the borders of our production. In the meantime, I have researched stone quarries and steam inserters. So, well, steam inserters would be quite awesome if they wouldn't need pipes, you know, you need to insert the steam somehow. and if they wouldn't need steam as well. So for now, well, I'll do my best to skip these things. I don't know, maybe we will have a steam array in between, but currently I want to work on another project because we have also discovered the coke production. So it goes like this. First, we transform coal to coke. In the beginning, this is a net negative. So you take one piece of coal and you transform it into coke, and the coke has less MJ burn value than the coal. But at the end of the day, you compress it back into coal coke pellets, and then you have a strong burning fuel. And if I read this correctly, we get a fuel where one unit has 18 MJ burn value versus 4 MJ burn value per unit of coal. So at least that's how I imagine it that it'll work. I have already brought up a couple of coke furnaces, which will be actually what we're requiring for that enterprise. So, well, let's see how things will work out. It's going to be a very, very simple process. Coal goes in, coke goes out. At least that's how I pictured it. So we're going to slap in all the coal that we got into these crates here. And here is one thing where I was wondering if steam-powered inserters wouldn't have been a good idea already, but we'll see about that. So, next step, I'm also going to put this on the other side, so we'll have a really nice and dense belt here. You know, I really don't know how far we will need to take this. So, the next step is we need to check on out how many inserters we'll need for this. Oh, nah. I'm not gonna put up a second inserter, will I? Yes, I will. You know, there's these little things where I feel like being stingy is, at this moment, is being stingy at the wrong moment, you know? So, I'm not gonna, as difficult as I might find that. Okay. So these thingies will have their second inserter, even if that second inserter is only going to be utilized 10% of its maximum capacity. But whatever. I just want to make sure that we got this. So let's go and take this one step further. And now let's create these pellets. So let's see, in what relationship do these stand towards each one another? We have a vast overproduction. Nice. Okay, how's it now? Still too many. Okay. So I'm trying to adapt now to the throughput of this machinery, so it looks like we can go with one more of these. So more science is finished. We're getting through this now in an okay speed. You see, steam crushers, by the way, are producing crushed metals and crushed coal. These items will require further steel processing. We mix crushed metals and crushed coal together and we get steel blend, which we can then smelt into steel. So for now, I'm going to roll with industrial glass. So let's see what we can and will do out of these. All right, so first things first. Well, I actually don't want to load these machines with the low quality fuel. So let's take the coal. Now let's check out how the relationship to inserters is here. So this is where I no longer will put up a second inserter. Nuh-uh. So yeah. This is our new high throughput fuel line. This is pretty good because that means we can now toss out all the old fuel packs and replace them. This is also going to be quite a painstaking process until we're done with that. But, you know, there's always something to mutter about, I'd say. So until then, we're going to go and slap up a couple of these so we can store that stuff. And then, well, what's up next? I mean, we can by now produce boilers that produce steam. I do have no storage containers though for Steam yet, as you see here. We haven't researched that venue yet. So, well, I'm not that keen on that, you know. For now I really want to have as many of these cold coke pellets because they are, if you ask me, the future of this factory because, you know, we'll get that much more efficiency out of that. Therefore, I'm going to plunder all the coke and start transforming that stuff in a grand scale. And yeah, well, let's see how things will play out. I will see or I will check back on this video when I have a bigger plan on my mind. Probably iron or steel. Let's see. It's hard for me to see now where to go next. Basically, I want to grind through these technologies ASAP, but at the same time, I don't want to just blindly go through this. So yeah, for fluid tanks, will require steel. So probably I'll just prepare some steel in the time between. So, before I really knew what I was doing, I turned into the slave of my coke coal pellet production. Because, you know, when we start transitioning from one fuel type to another, there's a lot of tricky things that happen in between. So, first of all, I cranked up the distributor here again because guess what? Burner inserters are slow. Oh, that's not really a piece of big news. So, I'm currently just wheezing around back and forth, trying to get the job done as good as possible while I'm burning through the last few things between me and this wonderful new technology. I also foresee that, well, I'm not going to go for too much of the Steam technology here. I already can't say as much because, you know, we don't actually need to go that deep. I want to go for the fluid tank technology next because, you know, fluid tanks will be really dandy to have them, but will require some steel for that. So I figured we're going to make us some steel as a next thing. Just a small scale production, you know, nothing big, just as much as we can afford. The thing is, for steel production, we do require crushed iron and crushed coal coke. Remember coal coke? Ha, yeah, just like that. This stuff we're going to produce locally. The iron we're going to take from the belt because when I checked out the system, I discovered that we have plenty of iron ingots still in the system, so I really don't need to worry about that. I'm going to lend myself a few of these coal bricks in between, and yeah, well, coal coke pellet distribution. That's one of my main jobs these days. So we're going to go and iron ingot this. So the thing about the steam crusher is the crusher comes only as a steam crusher. That means we are going to have to put steam into that machine, obviously. So we can crush all manner of different things. We're going to crush the iron ingots into bars, but we are also requiring steam. So I brought up a boiler, which is just that machine that produces steam for us. And, oh, I forgot that we need water for that. So dumb. Okay. Well, okay. We have to check out for a better location then. I somehow wanted to create steam without water. That's just me. So, jokes aside, we are going to help ourselves to a better location. Of course, we're going to go here and let's produce a couple of underground pipes while we're picking up some regular pipes from the pipe workshop. Or at least that's what I intend to do. Here we go. And in the meantime, we have to supply our coal stockpiles. This is really hard work by now, because you know you don't see it, but I keep running here back and forth basically constantly. So I'm going to set up that little steel manufacturing thing. And, well, after that's been done, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour because I need to set up a few things. And since we are constantly bound to refuel things, I'm going to show you the whole complete thingy there. And here's what I came up with. It's really a super simple and easy setup. That's nothing special. We just hooked up a crusher here and a crusher there. I brought up a little bit of a coke furnace being fed by this chest. I brought up a chest for the iron ingots, so it's not even a an automated process whatsoever. But I really felt like, I want to get some steel production going, at least a little bit, so we can kickstart that. You know, that's the best I can do, basically. I really hope that these guys... Well, wait a sec. What am I doing wrong? Using the wrong thing here, am I? So, we need to produce steel blend first. My bad. So that has to happen in an assembler. I knew I did it wrong somehow, so... Alright. We're going to mix up that real quick. In between that, well, our entire system here is running quite decently, as long as I don't mind bringing up every now and then the courier mode to haul stuff from A to B, you know. That's one thing that just happens endlessly, basically, here. So, those Coca-Cola pellets, they are amazing, but they're also... Well, we're not producing them fast enough. So there you see. We're up to 60 of these buggers again. But at the same time, I do have a bit of a problem here with the distribution of these items. But, well, let's fret not. I'll fix that later. Let's do the last step of this. So we're going to require now furnaces. I'm going to set them up on this side of the trench. Alright, so here goes nothing. We got now steel blend. Now let's see how the production is rolling like that. So we don't need more than one furnace. That's for real. We are okay with just one of these. And that's that. I mean, I won't be producing large amounts of steel like that. Quite the contrary, I think we're not going to produce any substantial amount, but it is enough to craft a few basic buildings that we'll need in the course of the time. Because, the good news is I'm almost done with the really, really annoying part. There's only a small handful of technologies keeping us away from the electricity. Of course, once I have electricity, it's not all easy and no problem, but we definitely will be capable of tackling some issues in a way that I wasn't able to before. But there's still a long, long way to go. But I think, yeah, I'm really okay with the method that I went for here. That we got that small scale array here that's getting us through the dark times. And as soon as I have electricity together, we're going to ramp up and build up a proper electricity-based grid. But currently, you know, it works. It's not nice. It's not efficient. It's actually quite horrible to play it, to be completely honest. But that's just early game for us. I feel like I'm doing great progress here at the same time. So this here will work for me. And until then, I think I'm going to drop all for today's episode. There will be a lot more of dits and dats to get done. But, well, for today, I'm quite happy. I need to rework lots of the parts of this factory. But, when I already know that we are currently only working with a ruddy starter base that we are most likely going to raise as soon as I'm done with the basics, I'm quite okay with that. Until then, I'll be running around distributing fuel to these machines and see what I can do until the technologies have been researched. Alright everybody, I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the ride. Let me know how you liked the changes in between the editing of this and the last episode. I really felt like it was a quite smooth ride for me. Let me know how you guys see that. And there's oil processing on the horizon. So, that being said, comments are very, very welcome. Thumbs up are also very, very welcome. And a subscription is even more welcome. So, choose how you want to support me if you want to support me, and if not, take my gratitude for watching this video. I'm really, really happy that you spent your time with that one, and I hope you're going to come back when we are going to expand on this madness. I'm quite okay with it, you know? It's a nice start. It's not the most super efficient way, but look at us. We're making steel. So, have a wonderful day, and see you guys next time.